Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's another all new news round that we've got in store for you today. We're talking about James Rodriguez. We're talking about last night's Carabao Cup action. We're talking about Liverpool expanding their stadium capacity and a whole lot more. But before we get into any of these stories and talk about them, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get back into talking about some of the biggest headlines from the world of football. Right then, so diving head first into the news, we come to one James Rodriguez, and he left Everton for Qatari side Al Rayyan. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. We're going to go with Al Rayyan. I'm sure you'll correct me in the comment section below if I'm pronouncing it wrong. The Colombian international has fallen completely out of favour at Everton since Rafa Benitez took charge. He even stated himself that the only reason why he went to Everton in the first place was because of the then manager Carlo Ancelotti, who had been with him obviously during his time with both Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. And then of course last year Ancelotti was the reason why Rodriguez went to Everton. Ancelotti brought Rodriguez over with him when he was Everton manager. But of course, things have changed since then. Ancelotti has returned to go and manage at Real Madrid, or quite suddenly that took place. And Rodriguez's future from there looked very much in doubt with Goodison Park. And he was subject to a move a lot in the summer. Nothing really materialised during the previous transfer window just gone. But with Qatar's transfer window still open for business, Al Rayyan have managed to sign the 30-year-old playmaker for an undisclosed fee. Rodriguez played 26 times across all domestic competitions for the Toffees last season, scoring 6 goals and creating 9 assists. I'm sure it's a big paycheck for him. I'm sure it's a pretty decent and very lucrative deal that he's got in store for him when he starts playing for Qatar and stuff. And it's going to be a fresh start and challenge for him. But it is a shame. It is a shame because we all know how good of a player he is. We all know how good he can be. We all know that he's very technically gifted. A great playmaker who also chips in with some great goals here and there as well. But despite hitting the ground running initially at Everton, his form wasn't consistent enough over the course of the entirety of the season. And of course, his chapter now at Everton comes to a close. But a new chapter does await Rodriguez in Qatar, and that is set to begin imminently. Also in the news, last night there was more Carabao Cup action as the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea and Tottenham all enter the third round. Whilst Chelsea and Tottenham both managed to advance to the next stage of the competition after scraping through on penalties, the same could not be said for Manchester United, who got knocked out at the hands of West Ham, who dealt Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side a 1-0 defeat to knock them out of this tournament. Elsewhere in the competition last night, Arsenal beat Wimbledon 3-0, Brighton beat Swansea 2-0, Leicester are also through after beating Millwall 2-0 as well. And also what happened last night, following the conclusion of this round of fixtures, the 4th round draw was made. West Ham's reward for knocking out Manchester United is to host an encounter with the current holders of this competition and the other side of Manchester in Manchester City, whilst Championship side Preston host 8-time winners of this competition, Liverpool, who rather surprisingly didn't get put up against a fellow Premier League side in this round as they usually tend to do. Elsewhere in the draw, Chelsea are going to be hosting Southampton, Arsenal will take on Leeds, Stoke face Brentford, Leicester will be looking for revenge against Brighton after losing to the Seagulls several days ago. Burnley will clash with Tottenham in another all-Premier League encounter, whilst finally QPR will host Sunderland. Also in the news yesterday, it was revealed that the Championship side Derby will be entering administration and be given a 12-point deduction. According to Derby's owner Mel Morris, the club are losing between £1.3 million and £1.5 million a month. And of course, they've been hit hard with financial issues over recent months and that has obviously caused the administration and of course the punishment of a 12-point deduction. Morris said himself that he has failed as an owner, but also said that the COVID pandemic definitely hasn't helped the financial situation at the club, and like a lot of other clubs, they are probably feeling the same way. The news affects everyone at the club, of course it does. Fans are worried for the long-term future of their club that they support. Staff are concerned about their job safety and job well-being. And the points deduction also means that Derby fall right to the bottom of the championship table on -2 points after acquiring 10 points from their opening 8 games of the season. Manager Wayne Rooney is said to be heartbroken by this news and is said to be trying everything he can to try and help his club out. Regardless of what you think of Derby, you have to feel sorry for mainly the fans and obviously the staff all involved in this. It's not their fault that they are going through and seeing this club go through these tough times, especially for the staff who are fearing, like I say, for their job security. It's incredibly hard on them. We wait and see what happens to Derby going forward. Elsewhere in the news yesterday, the Premier League have announced their planned setup for the for next season. The 2022-23 season is set to be disrupted between November and December due to obviously the World Cup being hosted in Qatar that year, taking place in the winter rather than in the summer. And yesterday it was revealed the Premier League have announced that the league will take a break upon the weekend commencing the 12th of November and will resume the season on Boxing Day. The World Cup is set to kick off on the 21st of November and the final is set to be played out on the 18th of December, meaning that players will have about a week or so to join up with their international teammates and train with them ahead of the beginning of the tournament. And when they return, it could happen at any point during that month or so. But for those that obviously make it to the final, they'll have 8 days minimum to prepare for the resumption of the season ahead. Look, we've known that this was going to be happening for some time now. We knew that the 2022 World Cup was going to be hosted in Qatar, despite the amount of controversy and seemingly corruption behind the announcement of Qatar hosting it. We knew that due to the temperature in the Middle East, it will be hosted in the winter. But even so, I still think it's mad to be hosting a World Cup in the winter rather than in the summer. In this kind of country, with all the problems that the country have had both as a country and due to the preparations of this tournament that they've faced and are facing, both past and present. And you know, you add on top of that the disruption to the season and the possible further disruption it may have to specific teams due to maybe injuries and so on and so forth. It seems more of a reluctance that seems to be happening, and this will obviously happen next year, than a genuine acceptance. But there's nothing we can do about it, we just have to accept it. And finally, Liverpool have confirmed that the Anfield Road stand at Anfield will be under development to expand its capacity very, very soon. In June, Liverpool City Council gave the green light for these plans to go ahead, and the club have confirmed that the stand will be expanded by another 7,000 seats. The redeveloped stand should be ready for the 2023-24 season, and if obviously everything goes as planned and everything, Liverpool will have then the third biggest capacity stadium in the Premier League. But of course, as I always say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of any of the news stories that I've talked about in this video? What do you make of James Rodriguez moving to Qatar? What do you make of last night's Carabao Cup action? What do you make of Derby County entering into administration and getting a 12-point deduction? What do you make of the Premier League plans for next season and their scheduled season due to the World Cup in Qatar? And what do you make of Liverpool increasing its capacity stadium at Anfield? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section. I'm sure it'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the right if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video.